that? Can I flip it backward and forward? Oh my. Can we not do that? Orientation is locked. Rotate device. Why won't it let us do it the other way? We're live currently. Maybe it won't let us flip it.
That's all right. I don't know if that's the case. We'll just prop it up this way. That's not good.
It is what it is. Welcome. Caleb, sup? What about me? You wanna say sup to me?
And my glasses are red.
Alright, I'll pull up.
Chris and Ed, how you doing? Brian, Baltimore. There's Nora. John, Texas.
Texas boy.
Christy kid say I love you. Mommy. Just waiting on us. I'm glad you managed to get on, Ed. You missed it last time. Chris is in Maryland. There's Zola. Caleb, Auntie. Well, we thought we'd try this one more time. We did it a couple months ago and enjoyed it. A little bit further north now. You can see I got my daughter here with me. She's the one that helps with these kind of things. So we wanted to take advantage of getting together. I'm not walking because it's 8 o'clock at night, Ed. I see some kids out there night hiking, but it's not for the old gray man. Anybody got a question, anything in particular you want to know, post it in the chat. I'm going to wait a few minutes before I do this little hammock demo because I want as many people to see it as want to. So we'll wait and make sure everybody gets on before I do that. I hope y'all will be able to see it. We're trying to do this on 2 smartphones. Yeah, she's a beautiful daughter. She takes after her mother. My rest of my family, Kate's family's at home, but the rest of them are at the beach. So my gray man's out here pounding these mountains. They're out there laying on the sand.
Caleb says, are you going to shave your beard?
No, I don't know if it's going to get shaved again or not. Beth might come one more time, maybe New Hampshire somewhere. But I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it'd help keep the mosquitoes off my face. Chris, it's been hot, but the last couple of days, it has cooled off some. But we've had a couple good days of good air. The water is adequate. The further north we came, the better the water situation got. There's some super trail angels out there caching water for people who need it. So the water's doing good. There's Tea Party. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Good to see you. I think if you're just patient and watch tomorrow's video, you'll get a health update. Now, that's the truth. That's tomorrow. Tea Party hiked well into Virginia this year. I met him on day 2. Ed, you could probably guess about where we are. It's at the point where it's starting to get really serious.
Caleb's being your hype man.
Oh, you gotta have patience, Beth. You get spoiled if you got everything too fast. Chris, I'm tired of everything in my food bag, but truthfully, as I've gone further, I find that I can actually eat more of stuff I don't like. That's the truth. But I've probably eaten better now than I was somewhat in the past. I can tell you just a little while ago, I had a nice ribeye, mashed potatoes, and some green beans.
No, Nora, you cannot.
Nora wants to know if she can hike some more. Have to drive a long way to hike now, Nora. Ed, I do try to eat everything I can get my hands on. It's the key to keeping going is getting some nutrition in you. My favorite steak is a filet, but it's only about 370 calories. So I've had to switch over to the what did I just say?
Ribeye?
Ribeyes, because they're 1,300 calories. And Christy boys want to hike. Boy, you should have done that while I was in Virginia.
I told them they missed their chance.
Well, your mom wants to do some section hikes in the future.
Apology lock.
Nora says they can do it.
There's your demo.
All right. Y'all interested in seeing what happened with my hammock? Gotta wait for a response. All right. All right. So on each corner of the hammock, you have, and I'm going to show you this. This is going to be hard to see, but there's actually a strap that goes the whole length of the hammock.
Up higher.
I can turn it down. But anyway, there's 2 straps on either side of this hammock. And on the end, there's this hook. Well, what happened is this part right here sheared off. So this hook came off. So I only had 3 pieces of suspension holding me up. And that wouldn't work. So I'm out here in the middle of the night. I mean, it's 7:30 at night. I'm setting up. I go to get in my hammock. I sit down on it and go right to the ground. So I get up and look and see what's happened. And I'm thinking, man, what am I going to do about this? I have no pad, no way to sleep comfortably, too late to try to walk anywhere else. So I tried a couple of different things. The first thing I tried hooking onto this little thing. That's something that's supposed to help with your quilt, underquilt or something. But that popped right off. That wasn't strong enough to hold my weight. So the next thing I did was I bored a hole right in this corner, trying to catch between this strap and this strap. Put a carabiner in there. That didn't hold. So then what I went and I did, I took these scissors and I bored a hole right through this band strip and worked until I got it big enough to put this little carabiner in it. This kind of give you maybe a little size comparison. But I worked the hole into it, had it facing out this way, was able to rig the hook and the suspension. I slept on it for 4 nights after that. And I know that's hard to see. I'm not sure if y'all got the big picture there, but this band strap is woven. And once it broke, it just frayed. You know, it was woven, it just frayed into a bush. So back here where it's covered with the hammock material, I thought, all right, it can't unfray. So that's why I backed up here and drilled the hole. And so I was able to, like I said, sleep on it. And I don't want to put all the blame on the hammock. When this thing is hooked, you can easily turn it this way or this way. And I wonder if there was times I had it turned the wrong way and was putting too much twisting, shearing force on this thing. So I may have very well contributed to the failure of it by not doing it right. I also would get in the same side of the hammock every day and every night, in and out. I always did the same side, so that was kind of putting all my weight on this one band all the time. But I will tell you, and I'm not bragging, I was very proud of myself for figuring that out. I mean, I Apollo 13 that thing. I fixed it with what I had and made it work for 4 nights. But I called Dutch the next day and talked to Vicky, and she shipped me out another hammock really quick. I sent them back the old one so they could look at it and see whether they want to do any kind of design change or, you know, realistically, they didn't design this thing for someone to take on a through hike. This is for a car camper. Guy might use it 4 or 5 times a year. I probably used it 80 times. You know, so I'm really tickled with Dutch's product, his innovation, the way he goes about things. So I'm not going to fault him. I don't know how much I contributed to the failure of it, but and also it's rated about 250 pounds, and I was probably pushing that with my clothes and stuff when I first got into it. By Hot Springs, I was out of that danger zone, but the other 3 Krias, I could see a little wear on one other, pretty noticeable, and just slight wear on the other 2. But you know, when you're a company like that, you got to decide, you know, I'm selling these things so someone's going to use them 3 or 4 times a year. If somebody uses it 80 or 90 or 100 times a year and busts it, I'll send them a new one. You know, what's the smartest thing to do? I think probably a little bit bigger band, a little next size up on that piece of material they use, and maybe, you know, maybe they could fashion a less of a, you know, 180-degree bend there. But I'm tickled to death with it. Y'all know I am. And so we'll leave it at that. it did slow me down for a couple of days. I took an extra zero. You're gonna see that tomorrow. And while I was waiting for this thing to show up in the mail, I thought I would get it on a Saturday and end up coming on a Monday. So I fiddled around one of those hot days and didn't walk. And then I had a couple short days waiting to get. I had it mailed to Kent, Connecticut, and probably should have had it sent a little further up the trail. But live and learn. Some of us just live. You know what? It's hard. I'm looking at your thing, Tea Party. It's hard to figure out a good way to transmit contact information over YouTube. If I had an Instagram account or something like that, it'd be easier, wouldn't it?
For you, yes.
Yeah.
To communicate.
Yeah.
Who's to say, Evan? Who's to say?
That's future stuff, boy. We can't talk about that now.
Shh.
Anyway, far
Yeah,
out.
far out.
I'll think about that Tea Party. I'll figure out a way. I wish we'd have traded numbers back on day 2. Just a little bit of an update. Things are going good. We're out there every day walking. I had some sort of idea that these shorter states were going to be easier. Maryland. We knew what Pennsylvania would be like, but New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, there's nothing easy about them. I think some of these states got the short man syndrome. They try to send us to the worst, roughest, rockiest place they can find, and just to make it hard. But the terrain in New York is really different, challenging, but it is getting a little better, a little bit easier. Yeah, all these states are hard, and but we're getting down. We're making progress. I'll look into that Tea Party and see if there is. If not, maybe I'll get my daughter to figure something out.
I'll look into that.
The other day, I had a request to make a video for someone for a birth, and they didn't want me to text it, of course, because of the poor quality. But they said there was a way to do it on Facebook. There was a way to do it on Instagram or whatever, and we might look in that tonight a little bit too. Chris, when are you going to start walking? Caleb says he enjoyed his hike in Pennsylvania. He hiked 8 miles up in there. What was it near?
Hershey?
No, Carlisle. Carlisle is what I'm trying to come up with. Nora, I'm always smiling because I'm thinking about you.
Birth.
What's that?
What you said?
What'd I say?
You said it's a video for birth.
I did what?
Birthday? Did you film a birthday?
Yeah, not a film of it's a new grandpa reaching out to get some videos made for his new granddaughter. September 5th, and then there's a gap until November 1st, so well, good. Well, I'm gonna be interested in watching that, figuring out just where you're gonna be and what you're gonna do. Flower power. I missed it, Evan. CAP. I still meeting some interesting people on the trail. I still see some people that I know from time to time. It's interesting when the way people go around in circles. I keep saying that, but it's so true. I've been meeting some people that just started. Talked to a guy yesterday, just started, and I've been around some other people that's just starting some flip flops. T-Par is asking about the tripping hazards, and they have gotten more severe as we went north. We had to do so much rock scrambling and rock hopping. I broke one of my trekking poles in two because I'd lost my balance and leaned back, and pole went down in a hole. I pulled it back and broke it in two. All right, Ed. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later. Ed's working on retirement.
Are you telling me what to do?
That's the future, Evan. That's the future. We're just sitting here reading.
We were talking earlier about how much Gray Man's enjoying his retirement. Ed talking about working towards retirement.
Yeah.
That was part of our dinner time conversation.
Flower power, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I will. You'll see it as it unfolds. I have no dates. You know me, I just let it happen. Let it come to me. The other day someone said, where am I going to be and thus and such? John, the grandkids, one of their grandmothers said we ought to do some section hikes, but I don't know. I said all my stuff's going in the trash when they get done. We'll just have to wait and see. Chris is working on retirement. If you knew how bad it smelled, it's ready for the trash. Well, that'll be cool, Flower Power, if y'all can finish the AT next year. You know, everyone thinks that this backpacking gets in your blood and you got to do it. But y'all gotta remember, I took this on as a challenge. It wasn't that I wanted to be a backpacker. I just wanted a challenge. It's been a challenge, but we'll see. I got a lot of other stuff I need to do when I get home. My wife will tell you that. Flower Power, how much is the AT have y'all done? I do, Tea Party, I do have Nail's number. I'll call him. That's a good plan. Annette came up to Big Mountain and helped feed me one night in the middle of a rainstorm. They brought 3 easy ups and a bunch of chairs. And I really enjoyed that. Well, I haven't really said, John, what state I'm in, but all I said is it's close to getting serious. With the delays in the videos, I'm always a little further north than it seems. But I think people enjoy just watching it as it comes.
Yeah, we're all y'all just sitting around on your own devices in the same room.
He was trying to write almost. John, did you see the hammock failure explanation? I showed it earlier in this live what had happened, so you can rewatch this earlier and see what. Yeah, it was in this, so you can go back and watch this after it's over. You know, Chris, that information is going to come out before too long. We're going to talk about just exactly how we do this video stuff, and we'll probably talk about it this coming week, and then y'all get to see it when it rolls around. So just like Beth says, we're always keeping you hanging a little bit. Tea Party, Nails, and Goggles were walking together for a long time, but I believe Goggles is ahead of him now.
Because we can, Caleb.
I do have to figure out some of the white stuff. I know there's a permit that you buy to help with the camping costs. Not quite to the point where I need to worry about it yet, but I need to educate myself a little bit. I need to educate myself a little bit about getting into Baxter State Park and how all that goes. But one thing at a time. Kate brought me my new trekking poles. The second downsize in pants. What else? Couple bowls. Those bowls that flatten out.
New water filter.
New water filter. Just thought I would finish this with a fresh water filter. The other one's still working. It's flowing pretty good, but the bladder's getting a little funky, and I thought just start with like I say, finish off with a new one. I think they let Flower Power. I think they let most any hikers stay at Lake of the Clouds, but you gotta be rich to stay at these other huts. Chris, I still was on my first filter. I was always been very particular about where I get my water. I always try to pick a nice clean source. I haven't had to scoop water, so I think it's helped keep the filter clean. John, you're right. Family's been very supportive. Everybody's pitched in, helped, run up and down the roads. Very thankful for all that. They've been excited for me, and you know, as you well know, we've tried to include everybody, and we still got a little more to show yet. Yeah, some of this water in some of these middle states is black, yellow, red. Try to stay away from that water. Deborah asked how I'm feeling emotionally. I think pretty good. You know, it's a long trek. It definitely wears on you, but what I've said many times is, you know, we know what we signed up for, so it's nothing I didn't expect. So I think I'm getting along very well, and you know, just gonna keep plugging away. The only acceptable outcome is to finish, unless I said all along, if you know, if my body breaks down or I get injured, then, you know, I can't help that. That's just what happens. But that's what it's going to take to stop me, is one of those two things. I saw Soap and Gadget 3-4 days ago. I can't remember which town, but they were coming in as I was going out. I'm not sure if they're in front of me now or behind me. They may be behind me. But Caleb asked how many shelters I've stayed in. I stayed away from the shelters in the south, where camping alongside the trail is permitted. We can camp beside the trail in Pennsylvania, but all these other states up this way so far have wanted us to stay in the shelter areas. So I've stayed in shelter areas. I've never stayed in a shelter. I always hang my hammock close by, close to it. But I don't have a pad, so I really couldn't lay on a shelter floor if I wanted to. Deborah asked what some of the other hikers say about their family involvement, and I haven't heard a lot about it. Whenever I mention, that someone's coming to guest hike with me, they're supportive of the idea. They like it. I've had some other people say that they didn't have the greatest of support, but I'm very thankful. Every family's different. We know what ours is.
That family that hiked the trail together was one of the main ones that got you kind of hooked on
Yeah, the
YouTube
Crawfords.
trail videos.
The Crawfords walked in 18, and I watched them, and then I watched some other people in 18, and I kind of got hooked from that. Evan asked what's changed as my biggest motivator. And I had about 3 reasons for doing this. One reason didn't really pan out. I thought I was going to have a hard time separating from work, and truthfully, I haven't thought about work at all. So I'm thankful for that. I was looking for a challenge, and this is one. So I don't think my motivation's changed much. I've had various goals. Some I've told y'all about, and some I haven't. But things are lining up. Flower Power says she appreciates me talking about some of our family dynamics. We are all very fortunate. Kate, you could probably speak to that. What do you think about our family dynamics?
I think traditionally when families separate, it feels like you lose or you're lacking. But in our case, I think we just got more. So, no complaints from me.
It's like I said the other day, when I was quoting Kane, he was a little bit lost in a bouncy house, wasn't it?
The trampoline park.
Trampoline park. He walked up to one of the workers there, and instead of saying, "I can't find my people," he says, "I have 3 grandmothers." Nor my favorite food is off the trail. It's always town food. Tea Party, that's a good reason. He had his own reasons for walking the trail, and they were good ones. Y'all know that I'm carrying the picture of my childhood friend who we lost to depression. I'm carrying his picture on my pack and his memory in my heart. He always wanted to walk the AT, so he's been riding the pack the whole way. I look at it every so often to make sure it's not in danger of falling off. But he's hanging tough. You know, people ask me what's been my favorite part of the trail or the favorite state or things like that. And I don't think I've had a favorite big thing. I've had a favorite day. I think I may have told y'all last time my favorite day was the day in Grayson Highlands. So many things happened that day, and it just was a day of highlights. But I've enjoyed all these states. They all have something to offer. They're all interesting in their own way. So, Bree, I've enjoyed everything I've walked through. T-Party's asking about Shad. About every time he calls his mom, he says, I wish I was still out there hiking with Trent. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do it one day. He did a really good job. That was a hard thing to come off the couch and go right into the Smokies, having to do 12-mile days. But he's a tough nut, and he did it. You know, it's funny, on the front end of each daily video, it shows all the pictures of all the people I've walked with. And in the beginning, all those pictures were blank but one, but no one ever asked what that was about. I think that's interesting. I will, Tea Party.
Nora says day 62 was your favorite, of course.
Oh, Nora's such a sweetheart. Maybe she'll want to do this one day. We were just talking about what time normally get up. I heard the birds singing about 4:30 this morning. I think some mornings I get up as early as 5 and try to get going by 6. Other times, though I know I don't have to go that far, I may not get up until 6 and try to get going by 7. But yeah, my time has definitely shifted. It's more start around 6 and finish about 6 or 7. Be in bed by 6 or 7. So Kate was asking me about that this evening, just what my schedule is, and that's kind of the way it's running. But the birds will wake up. And I don't know if I've asked this question here recently, and I don't know if anyone's had time to see the video yet or not, but there's a bird out here that makes the same kind of sound as a video game. I don't know what it is, but I heard it the other day and it sounded to me like a video game. I thought some kid had a video game playing out there. If y'all know what it is, let me know. Flower Power, I think someone says this hike's in the neighborhood of somewhere between 5 and 6 million steps. I'm counting all my steps, town steps, camp steps, all of it. We'll see what it ends up being.
R2D2 bird.
I don't know if that's right. Do it part, make the sound. I can't make the sound. Tea party, my knees are doing good. You'll hear about that tomorrow. I gave a little health update and a gear update on tomorrow's video, but nothing's really sore on me except I got 2 toes that are just aggravating the crap out of me. But it's my left foot, a little toe, and the one next to it. They're trying to take up the same real estate, and they're just fighting each other all the time. No. Last time I heard a Wookiee, Robert, was in New York.
Help him find the bird identification app. That's beyond my job description.
It's Merlin. Merlin's what people use for that. Caw, caw. No, it sounds like a video game. It does. I first heard it really in the last week or two, so. Right foot creep. All right, Flower Pie says I'm so chill on the trail. Okay, is that who I am?
Yeah. I think so. We were talking about this at dinner also. We covered a lot of ground at dinner tonight. We're talking about, rather than getting worked up or in a tizzy about anything, it's just methodical, logical, problem solving, step 1, 2, 3. And that's how he operates.
Yeah.
About 99.9% of the time.
There's no point in getting excited. You gotta get in that problem solving mode. That's what kept me off the ground that night. Keith, glad to have you join.
What happened to the hammock?
I explained and showed the best I could, so you'll have to go back and watch it from the beginning. Tea Party's asking about mosquito bite itching. My hammock has a screen on top, and I'm usually very careful to keep it closed until I'm right ready to get in, and I try to get in as quickly as I can without letting any mosquitoes in. But so far, I really haven't been bothered by mosquitoes too much while I'm sleeping, and I did buy a net for my face that sometimes I wear really just about part of every day now. Chris, we might ask the phone to give us that sound after this is over with and see if you're right or not about trying to guess what kind of bird that is. So Keith, basically, I rigged a fix on my hammock. I was able to sleep in it for 4 more nights, but I got an exact replacement. So I haven't changed anything. I just got a new one. Yeah, I did get a little slowed down through the hammock debacle, but That's all right too. Even when you're going slow, you're resting. All right, thanks for joining, Flower Power. We'll see you again soon. Kate, any big concerns on stuff we don't know about yet?
I'll let you know in 10 days.
Y'all haven't figured it out by now. Kate's gonna walk with me a little bit. She's brave.
That's still to be determined.
I haven't had too much trouble with mosquito bites. I've been bitten a couple times by black flies. You don't know they're on you until the pain hits. That's right, Nora says that's the future. Always emotion is the future. That's a copyright infringement. Anything y'all want to see that I haven't shown you yet on video? Kate's got a few little ideas up her sleeve.
Are any curiosities of the day-to-day trail life?
You know, I've talked about a lot of it. I can't imagine anything I haven't said, but I'm to the point now where I can't remember what I said and what I haven't.
Maybe they can't either.
Yeah. Keith asked if I'm having any trouble with ticks or chiggers. I have treated my clothes multiple times, and that seems to be working. I've treated them with permethrin, and I think that is key to keeping the ticks off of it. I also use long pants and long sleeve shirt, even in the heat. And with both those things being treated, they just can't stay on it long enough to get inside and get me. So I think permethrin's the key. Keith's line of work has him in the woods some, and they've used permethrin successfully for years now. I haven't had a batch of chiggers bother me since my motorcycle racing days. We used to get in some chiggers, but yeah, permethrin's key. And I think it helps a little bit with the mosquitoes. They kind of come to you and then they go away. They're just after my face now and my hands. That's all is exposed. And if I have my head net on, then they can't even get to my head. But I'm actually doing fairly well on the mosquito and tick front. Nora asked how many zeros I've taken. It's been a bunch. Some of them I've taken for family reasons. I've taken some that I didn't need to take. This last one I took just because I was kind of waiting for that package to get to Kent. In the beginning, I took some that I needed, and the one in Warwick I needed, but I haven't counted them up lately. But it's more than 2 weeks worth of zeros. All right, Tea Party. Glad you could drop in. And I'll get your number from Nails. Good luck to you. We'll talk again soon. All right, folks, it's been almost an hour. If we might wind it up unless somebody's got something else pressing they want to know about. I don't know that we'll do another live. This is probably, I won't say. You never can tell what the future might bring, but Caleb asked what was the biggest number of miles I ever walked, and I'm not sure I remember. 21 or 22 maybe. I've never been about the miles. That's why I don't write them down. I say them out loud, but I never write them down because I knew I would never be a big mile person. Really about 18 and a half is probably my sweet spot when I can camp where I want to. A lot of it right now has been governed by the shelter areas. Well, I appreciate everybody's well wishes and joining us this evening. It's a lot of fun for us, and you know, I've said many times I enjoy all the aspects of this hike. I like the walking, I like the challenge of it, I like the people, I like the towns, I like the food. You know, I like all the aspects of it, and this is just another one. So appreciate everybody's support, well wishes. I appreciate your comments. I enjoy reading them. And so we're gonna call this done. And you know what we're gonna do tomorrow. All right. Good night, everybody. Well, what you think about that?